Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling coherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Disco Elysium, Blind. Now, I was supposed to question the people in this diner, so let's start with this guy.
The man with the unimpressive beard notices you approaching. He drops the ledger he was holding and turns to the lieutenant.
Mr. Garte, right? You run this place.
The lieutenant glances into his little notebook.
Yes.
He responds tersely.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41?
He looks to you, realizing he still doesn't know your name. Yeah, I don't know my name either.
Right. Now, I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene. It also took you a while to call us and report the dead body. It was you who placed the call, yes?
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually works the bar here. I'm only temporarily taking over her duties.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
He looks behind a pile of coasters, finds a slip of paper and hands it to the lieutenant.
You said you just got here. From where? Are you a local?
What, of Martinez? No, I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on the place. This is just one of the many cafeterias I manage.
But you still know your way around, yes? In case we need directions.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't live here. I just used to work here. And I'm not going to start working here again, if that's what you think.
I didn't imply that. Detective.
He turns to you.
He probably means this is where you step in and ask your questions.
Right then, questions. I got it.
His face expresses profound doubt in your having this. Ask him about the body's location before asking if he killed him. People give up information in the more innocuous questions, which you can later use in the more sinister ones, not vice versa.
Where exactly is the body?
Behind this building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there.
He points to the kitchen behind him. And how do we get there?
That's easy. See that door there? First you exit through that. Then to your right, you should see a big hole in the fence. A really big one. You can get to the courtyard through there. No need for the keys. The hole is big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry to fit through.
He points to the west.
Does he want you to feel guilty of making that hole? It's implied in his voice.
Where did Sylvie go away?
Haven't you asked me that already? What is it with you and this woman? She has nothing to do with this.
No, I asked you where. Now I'm asking why she left.
Okay, you got me. She went away because of the dead body out back. And because I asked for her number. That's why Sylvie went away. I hope you appreciate that.
Thank you.
The lieutenant says. He opens his little notebook. At the cover, the number is safely tucked away in a small pocket. Well, it didn't go well, I assume.
I asked an employee out. She didn't want to come, but felt obliged to. It was a bad idea. Now, what is so goddamn fascinating about that for you? It's got nothing to do with the lynching.
Well, I guess I like to be thorough.
Good for you. Was there something else? I'd like to get back to what I was doing.
Who killed him?
I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police. That's your job.
This is it. He said they hoisted him up on a tree. Who is this they, if he doesn't know?
Before you said they hoisted him up on a tree, who did you mean by they?
Oh, people are saying it was the union dock workers, that it was a lynching.
He's a bit surprised you caught that. Who exactly is saying that?
The locals, the customers, the people who eat here. A lot of dock workers eat here. Sylvie told me everyone knows the dock workers did it.
Did the debarders themselves tell her this, or is it a rumor?
I don't really know. You'll have to ask her.
Why would the dock workers lynch this man?
I would suppose it's because they have nothing better to do.
You mean the strike?
Yes, the strike. The man they hanged was a security guard for the harbour company, I hear. A mercenary. The unionistas probably thought they'd send a message.
He makes little quotation marks with his fingers. It's a bit accusatory, but I probably have to ask this just to observe his... Well, it's a bit accusatory. It's directly 100% accusatory. But I think I have to ask this just to observe his reaction. Did you kill him, by any chance?
What are you, crazy? Of course I didn't kill him.
All right.
The lieutenant turns the page in the little notebook he's been scribbling in.
I guess that's it for now.
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real.
No one is saying the multi-pattern necktie you found tied to the ceiling fan can talk. No one. It must be merely imagination. But
Let's bail! Time to push the eject button! Sounds like a responsibility! You don't like those!
Okay, so apparently my necktie has a really funny accent. I approve.
no, don't listen to him. It's madness. Just talk.
What's real? I assume this place's currency.
Oh, excuse me. You owe me 130 real.
He pronounces the R with a mock aristocratic accent.
The IIR, or Inter-Isolary Real, is the global reserve currency. Whatever part of the world you're in right now, it's safe to assume he means you owe him some money.
Oh, I understand you mean I owe you money.
Wow, you're a genius. Yes, that's right, money. You owe this establishment 130 real.
He points to the red ledger on the counter.
Who does that clown think he is? Arrest him!
What exactly is money? No. What do I owe this place for? Probably for trashing it.
Let's see. 3 nights at a tariff of 20 real comes to 60 real. Then there's the window you annihilated. The hole in the window was the first thing I saw when I came to work. So don't try to tell me you didn't. That will be 40 real in damages.
He dramatically turns the page in the ledger.
Another thing you've annihilated is half the bar. You've run a tab of 30 real. Actually more, but we'll round it down to 30 for your hard work maintaining the stability and order of Revachol. That's 60 plus 40 plus 30 equals 130 real. And yes, real is still money.
To be honest, all of those responses are unhinged. This makes me out to be a crazy person, this makes me out to be an idiot, and this makes me out to be some kind of a despotic jerk. But what exactly is money? I guess out of the 3, I would rather be an idiot than the other two.
What are you, a philosopher?
Well, since I woke up, I have trouble remembering even the most basic concepts of reality.
Money is what grown-up people use to pay for things. Things like this hostel room, or 8 bottles of potent blend, and 9 packs of Royal Extra. We use it for everything, really.
But what if I don't have any?
There's a shuffle of nylon as Lieutenant Kitsuragi looks for something in the pockets of his orange bomber. That's cop 4. I haven't offered to pay because I don't have any money either.
Well, what happens now?
I'm sorry, but he has to pay. I can't let him stay here any longer if he doesn't. If he doesn't have the money by tonight, then...
He turns to the lieutenant and shrugs.
Officer, maybe you're better off working this from home for now. You live in Jamrock, right? It's not that far away.
Well, I don't remember where my home is.
Officer, you really need to take this up with your station. I have a shortwave radio in my car. Call them, ask for assistance. We have to get this investigation started now.
A pattern of creases appears on his forehead.
Good luck.
The man wants to say something and then thinks better of it.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank, and this place sure isn't it.
I really don't remember.
But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? You had to be somewhere.
South, maybe? Somewhere near?
You don't really know, do you?
I don't. Does this mean I'm homeless?
South, maybe. Doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money.
Could I trace the way back somehow to the exact street, the exact number on a building?
You can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time. Maybe a street or an apartment will appear.
Okay, you know what? I will actually wake up this worker because he works for the same company that the victim worked for, so he might know something.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already?
Pretty long. It's drink o'clock.
Attaboy. It's coming back to him. You had your mesolimbic reward pathway worried there, not thinking about drinking all that time. It was like you weren't yourself.
Well, to be honest, actually, should I be thinking about this? Looks like drinking hasn't worked out too well for me so far.
Maybe you haven't turned out well for your drinking. Have you thought about that? Get a goddamn rum and lemonade to yourself, boy. Or better yet, lick that stain off the counter.
Lick it, but only a little. Don't lick it.
What happened, man? You used to be cool. Go get your boring normal person drink then. Get your drink on and your act together.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I have to wake you on official police business.
The worker is in a deep slumber. Perhaps he's on his way to where you just came from, into the primordial darkness. On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine.
Apparently, that's going to be pretty hard to wake him up. But I'll try.
You gently shake his shoulder, but nothing happens. This man could probably sleep soundly in a ship's engine room.
Alright.
Hello, sweetie.
The elderly woman turns to you with a smile. Who's Sweetie?
Why, you are, officer.
I'm no sweetie, look at me.
You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin.
Well, I guess I appreciate it. It is a compliment. Kind of. Although, I personally don't have that great of an opinion of being called such things. Dimple or not, I am a bitter man. The years have taken their toll.
Take heart, officer. You're still a man in your prime. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself.
She slaps herself on the forehead.
I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
Her eyes glitter over the rims of her glasses as she looks up, smiling.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
The sweeties get money. I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't know where I am, or what I'm doing, or anything.
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
Her eyes follow your movement with some concern.
She won't judge you, no matter what you say.
Well, I drank so hard I literally forgot everything. Or rather, I forgot literally everything, which is a bit of a different sentence.
Oh my. You know where we are, right?
It takes a moment to process. The Whirling in Rags cafeteria, it was on my keys.
That's right. And where is the Whirling in Rags cafeteria itself located?
See, I have no idea.
We're in the city of Revachol, dear.
She flashes you a worried look. Honestly, I don't know a diddly squat about Revachol. What kind of place it is?
How would I even begin to tell you? Revachol is the most beautiful city in the world. We're fortunate to be here, you and I.
Her grey eyes widen.
I haven't seen very many other cities personally, but everyone says so. Revachol is a rare jewel. This city used to rule the world, though it has seen better days.
There's a pause as she studies your expression. You must look quite lost.
Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes?
I think it's the spring of 51 based on one of the calendars that I saw.
That's right, dear. How splendid. Here, take this pen. Knowledge should always be rewarded.
Her relief is palpable. She was getting pretty worried about you there, but now she relaxes her shoulders.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
And governed by intelligent machines. The calculations to determine the freest market. We're living under cop regime. Well, I hope for some kind of a democracy.
Nope. Sadly not. Revachol is what's called a zone of control, under an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have no government of our own, and what democracy we have is market-driven.
Meaning, buying is voting.
If there is no government, how come there are cops?
Oh dear. And you were doing so well. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution.
She shakes her head, suddenly very, very worried.
But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
What is this revolution you mentioned?
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago.
What does this have to do with there not being any cops?
It has something to do with everything. I really don't know how to explain it better.
I'm just a poor woman, she thinks. What do I know of these things? And how can I help you?
So, how did I do?
You were doing quite well up until the end, dear. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Remembering reality in a word. It's very odd.
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in his notebook.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much.
She means this sincerely. Worrying won't do you any good.
Who could tell me more?
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
She turns to the lieutenant.
No, I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
He looks away.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez.
How would you like to roll with me?
Whatever do you mean?
I want you to be my wheelchair partner in fighting crime, ridding backyards of corpses, catching sequence killers.
Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
She sounds impressed.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
I know, but there are also side mysteries, sequence killers, and forays into paranatural.
I can assure you with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez.
Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie.
Why? 3 heads are better than 2.
Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair-accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down.
She looks out of the window wistfully.
Perhaps another time.
She turns back to you with a hopeful glint in her eyes. Yeah, I'm not going to ask her for money, that's kind of rude. And I'm not going to question her about her disability, because that's a highly personal thing, and everyone has different boundaries. Like, I myself am slightly disabled, and I don't mind if, like, I limp, and people do notice that, and I don't mind if they ask, but people are different, and they have different and they have different boundaries. Although on the other hand, generally, I would say, as long as you're not being like overtly rude or unpleasant about it, there is nothing wrong with asking. Like, some people are just disabled. It's just how reality works. And as I said, I personally don't have a problem if people ask about my health problem, and I can, talk about it without difficulty. So you know what? I will ask, actually. You seem to be in a chair.
Yes, dear. I'm a paraplegic.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height, or a grenade explosion.
A grenade? Did you fight in a war?
No, dear. I'm not quite that old. Although I was injured in the line of duty.
Were you a mountaineer?
Nothing so glamorous, dear. Though when I was young, I dreamt of planting the Revacholian flag on some figurative peak.
What did you do then?
I was a training and development manager at a rapidly expanding mail-order shoe company. You'd think it would be a safe job, but I had to be everywhere, and, well, once I happened to be under some faulty scaffolding. I was lucky. This was almost 20 years ago, and I was compensated exceptionally well. One can only dream of such payoffs nowadays.
She runs her hands over the chrome wheels of her chair. Thanks for cleaning that up for me. Let's move on.
No problem.
She nods, smiling at you from behind her glasses.
There is no bitterness in her voice. She accepted the curiosity her condition inspires a long time ago.
Yeah, that's fair. As I said, I personally don't have a problem if people ask, and it seems neither does she. I've got to go. I've got to get going now.
Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
She gives you a small wave. Okay, I guess let's go out back. Although, wait, wasn't I supposed to go through the kitchen? I must have misunderstood something. I did get a pen from her. A pen with a green ape head on one hand. On one end, the ape has closed its eyes, a kind of expression adorning its face. It seems to be meditating. Okay, so is it just trash? It isn't a tool, so I would assume so.
Can I help you?
By the way, I'm going to sing karaoke here.
Absolutely out of the question.
You wait and see, cafeteria manager. Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit. Your body is ready, sire.
Your body is ready. I've seen something here at the whirling guard. A thing I need to talk about. I don't know what that is yet, but...
What thing?
I saw a sign that the mess hall is reserved for the Union.
Yes, not the whole damn Union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction.
He tosses his head in disdain.
They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
He hates the Union, but grudgingly recognizes its power over him. So he's directing his frustration at you instead. Retaliate.
It's a shame you gotta suck up to the Union to stay afloat.
I don't. I'm simply providing a service, or really facilitating the offering of services to paying customers, and it doesn't matter. I don't have to explain myself to you.
He runs out of steam.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info.
The lieutenant gives you a meaningful nod. How do you find them?
We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow.
He looks towards the booth.
There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept. Just making clear you got that.
Yeah, thank you very much, game. Unlike the protagonist, I do understand the concept of time. Guard, I saw a sign that said I couldn't go into the kitchen. Why can't I go into the kitchen?
What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business.
Well, but there might be something pertinent to the investigation in the kitchen.
He wasn't pan-fried, he was lynched. What could the kitchen possibly have to do with...
He rolls his eyes, but then he changes his mind.
Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must.
Fair.
What?
You feel like you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Yeah, fair enough. I would have probably figured that out. That's an option. I do need a drink, apparently, but I don't have any money. So about that money I owe you.
Yes, have you got it?
How much do I owe again?
A lot. A lot. For the room, drinks, and broken window, 130 real.
Let's talk about something else.
Like what? I was rarely enjoying talking about the money you owe me.
I need a drink. Can you pour me one?
Do I have a shaker in my hand? Is this a shaker?
He points to his empty hand.
He sounds irritated. And it's not a shaker. It's nothing. He's holding nothing.
You sound irritated. Why? All I want is a drink. Well, perhaps because I didn't pay for the last drinks I got. Not to mention I trashed the place. But you sound irritated. Why?
Am I wearing a little bow tie? Am I wearing a bow tie and doing this?
He shakes the imaginary shaker furiously.
Am I smiling? Do you see me smiling and shaking my little shaker? No. Do you know why?
Because you're not a bartender?
That's right. I'm the cafeteria manager. I'm glad we cleared that. Was there anything else?
Play it calm. This man needs to understand you need a drink to help the community deal with police stuff.
I'm an alcohol-operated detective. If you want me to clean up the body and solve the case, then you need to insert alcohol into my mouth. To be honest, as funny as that is, I feel like this is a more reasonable response, although perhaps one not inspiring confidence, because this just sounds like being a smartass, whereas this, you know, if I am an alcoholic, I probably can't function right. You know, because I'm currently going through, withdrawal and probably will have, like, delirium soon. You don't understand the seriousness of the situation. I'm an alcoholic, I need my fix.
Even more reason for me not to serve you, sir. Was there anything else you needed, other than alcohol?
Well, can I still try the other option?
Do I have a shaker in my...
He sounds irritated, and it's not a shaker. It's nothing.
Am I wearing a little bow tie? Am I smiling? Do you see me smiling and shaking my little shaker? That's right, I'm the cafeteria manager.
Play it calm. This man needs to understand you need a drink to help the community deal with police stuff.
Well, apparently I am an alcoholic-operated detective.
Oh, well, in that case, let me pour you a nice, big, refreshing marinella. Do you want that out of a glass or a pineapple?
A glass is fine.
Don't be an imbecile. I'm not going to serve you a marinella. I have work to do and broken things to fix. If that was all, I'd like to return to it.
But I still got experience for that, so it was worth it. I will go upstairs and try to talk to that woman again, because now that I sort of realize I am on a case, maybe she will have something more to say about the case.
The door is closed.
Knock.
There is no answer. A tremendous loneliness comes over you. Everybody in the world is doing something without you.
Swallow the emotion.
The door is closed.
Try the handle.
This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside.
Knock again.
Still no answer.
Knock again, much harder.
Still nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance. He doesn't like where this is going.
Alright. Let's leave then. Martinez waterfront. You are here. Oh, okay, so it gives me failed checks that I could retry later. But how does that... I was supposed to go out back. Where does the other door go? Oh, it's just closed. Okay, so I take it I have to go through here, actually. Rue de Saint-Gilles, 8B.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Wow, that's a lot of things. I'll leave that be for now. I definitely do need to find the body, so... heap of snow melts in this wheelbarrow. The street sign reads, "Fuck the police." Pigs go home. The street name is illegible. Okay, so apparently they don't much like cops on this street.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with?
The young woman looks up at you. You sound surprised.
We don't see a lot of police around here, that's all.
I have some questions for you.
Of course. What can I help you with?
What is this fuck the police business?
Excuse me?
She doesn't understand.
She's uncomfortable. Maybe you should drop this line of questioning.
Alright.
She shifts in her seat awkwardly.
Who are you exactly?
Me? I am just a gardener.
Cool, and what are you doing here?
I am working.
Working on what?
I have a greenhouse in the yard there. I've been trying to get some work done.
She gestures over the shoulder.
There's discomfort. She stops mid-sentence. She realizes she's about to criticize your work, or lack thereof.
There's a corpse there keeping you from doing your work.
Yes, it smells pretty bad, so I have to take breaks.
She looks relieved.
Don't worry, miss. We are here to clean it up. You can get to work soon.
Thank you. My head is about to explode from all the salts I've had to inhale.
She smiles politely. We need directions.
Of course. Where to?
Well, first, the corpse. Where is it exactly?
It's there. In the yard, right through the hole in the fence.
She points north. Okay, that's all for now.
No problem.
She nods, brushing a fleck of soil off her cheek. Okay, I have to go.
Of course. I won't hold you back.
She wipes her brow with the canary yellow glove.
Her gloves. You get the feeling that you need them. You have a dead body to deal with after all.
One more thing. Can I borrow your gloves?
Sure. Keep them. I have another pair.
She hands you the rubber gloves with no visible annoyance. Thank you, actually. Thick latex gardening gloves in classic canary yellow. Maybe you should retire and take up gardening as a hobby. It's worth a thought. +1 interfacing. Bye-bye, bugs. To be honest, why would that help? Because I assume you mean computer interfacing. Why would that help? If anything, it would be pretty interfacing. Master machines. Yeah, it would be pretty uncomfortable to type in those specific types of gloves because they are very large. They are not like, you know, the kind of latex gloves that doctors use, for example, that are very form-fitting. They are rather large and would make your fingers quite large as a result while wearing them. Goods from the lorry haphazardly litter the surroundings. Jump Jams, a popular music magazine, I think it said. A glossy magazine, most able-bodied men. The issue hosts a top 10 list. Okay, there's magnesium in the trash.
Welcome to Rivachol.
Announces the rotund man. The remark isn't addressed to you, it's addressed to the lieutenant. Why are you addressing my partner like that?
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture. while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago.
The lieutenant fires back.
Every school of thought and government has failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you.
What's happening? You sound angry, Kim.
It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
He pays you no attention.
What he means is, fixation on the Revacholian nation makes it harder for Revachol to actually attain self-determination.
Okay, so I guess he's so lost in his nationalistic rhetoric of who's a true Revacholian that he's wasting his time on disliking, people from other places rather than do anything constructive with it. He's right. You're undermining your best shot at self-determination.
Oh, come on, man. I just said welcome to Revachol. It's a lorry driver thing.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself and behave. But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would advise you to remember that.
Silence. The air between them becomes tense. Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
Punch on the shoulder? but to be honest, good for you. You know, my partner is 100% right on this. Obviously, I have a very poor view of, like, obviously racist, sure, but even, like, hardcore nationalists. I think, for example, I think ethno-states are a stupid idea. Like, I'm not saying necessarily, because there are already countries that are pretty sort of ethnically homogenous, and I'm not necessarily saying that's wrong, like in itself, or that you should forcibly inject ethnic minorities into them. But what I am saying is, I think ethno-state as a goal, or like a weird fixation on maintaining an ethno-state, is stupid. Like, I see no point in it. I don't care whether my neighbors are white or black or brown or yellow or whatever other color. I don't even really care where they come from. What I do care about is that if they come here, that they respect, the basic tenets of our law, and that they agree to share in at least some basic tenets of our cultural identity. Like, for me, nationality is entirely a man-made concept and has nothing to do with race or with, like, your actual ethnic background. I think it's cultural, and I think it's definitely, even if you originally come from somewhere else, if you settle in a country and respect its laws, and and put effort into, like, learning the language and the culture, I think it's certainly possible to become a member of that nation in spirit, and it should be possible to become that legally as well once you meet certain requirements. So overall, fucking A, Kim, I got your back.
You two make a cute couple. You know that.
And the lorryman spits.
The lieutenant exhales and resumes his regular calmness.
Now that that's settled, we have a couple of questions.
Whatever you say, officers.
He waits impassively, cigarette smoldering between his fingers. What was this argument all about?
It's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races.
Spits on the ground.
Not the most popular topic nowadays, with the coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep.
Well, so you're just a racist. Makes sense.
I'm not just racist. Look, I've read books. Huh? The science of racial theory has all been proved, even if some people don't want to accept it.
He gestures with his cigarette for emphasis. It's actually the exact opposite. Like, you know, all of those quote-unquote scientific justifications for racism have been thoroughly disproven by science. To be honest, it's simple prejudice. Like, and funnily enough, there is research on the fact that you become less racist the more you interact with the members of the group that you profess to hate. Which actually makes perfect sense, because once you interact with them for long enough, you start to notice that in fact, despite their different skin color or like ethnic background, they are not all that different to you. They are still humans, and you know, some of them are good people and some of them suck, just like everyone.
People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that.
He glances at the lieutenant.
Race is a simplistic means of social classification based on easily observed attributes, hunches, and pseudoscience.
You just look at people and make arbitrary judgments.
The lieutenant tries to remain impassive, but the slight arch of his eyebrow tells you that he's liking it.
As arbitrary as any judgment, that doesn't make it less of a fact. We'll have to use facts. Huh? Once you accept it, you'll gain the clarity of understanding.
Well, so what else have you thought up?
So, lately we Occidentals have experienced an unfortunate downturn when members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority. They stop competing for resources.
Okay, and?
This concerns you, policeman, so you better be vigilant. The damn kids are showing up good lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other intruder species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory.
He throws a sharp glance at Lieutenant Kitsuragi.
Cultural victory? What is this then?
Well, what do you mean by cultural victory? Do you think we're all playing Civilization?
It's what the kids of Boogie Street are going for, right under our noses. And the others too, on the radio. Heard any chansons lately? Heard any mojitos or leader? No. Dominating culture is how they plan to win. They say so themselves. It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring.
I think I can get down with racism. Yeah, of course I can't. Like, come on, you're stupid. That's another really dumb thing. Like, there's part of the alt-right that's peddling the so-called Great Replacement theory, that talks about, you know, the plummeting birth rates about white people among white people, and how they will all be replaced by brown people or whatever because of demographics. And even though you know, it's built on very shaky factual grounds, my answer is, even if it's true, who cares? Like, I certainly don't. I don't feel like I have never woken up in my life and had a thought like, oh, you know, it's great to be a white person. Like, I don't have any particular attachment to the color of my skin or to the color of the skin of other people. Like, I think it's a meaningless characteristic. As I said, it doesn't matter to me what color my neighbors are going to be. What matters to me is what people they are, but it has nothing to do with skin tone. And, that's a mistake that the racists make, because they assume that there are characteristics of your personhood that are intrinsically linked with your race. So, everyone of a certain race is like already categorized into a category of people even before you get to know them, simply because they are of a certain race, which obviously I disagree with. And seemingly so does reality. I'm not down with racism, actually. Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Don't push your luck, runt.
The man gives you a disgusted look and turns his attention elsewhere, ignoring your presence.
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again?
Maybe. What are you holding?
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation.
What kind of cargo are you supposed to pick up?
Apples.
Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had something to hide.
Sounds like a cover story to me.
Look, as detective, I come from a long line of Lorry men. We got ancient rights and privileges.
He loses his patience explaining it.
Oh, I'm here to pick up a load of fucking apples, man. Just regular Koiko picked apples.
Koiko may be another derogative for a person from Grad, you think?
So they grow apples in Grad?
Yep, it's one of their main exports. They grow them down South Yekokata. A beautiful place. Got great scenic vistas.
In fact, Yekokata is a desolate wasteland whose name literally translates to Zone of Ecological Catastrophe. It features no scenic vistas and supports virtually no plant or animal life.
Yekokata is not in the south, and they definitely don't grow apples there.
Yeah? Says who?
It's literally in the name. Zone of the Ecological Catastrophe.
Then, I guess they grow apples somewhere else. You can never really tell with those koikos. They're everywhere, except their own homes.
The lorry driver glares at you intently, and then shrugs. You keep saying koikos. What does that actually mean?
He means the people living in Grad.
Yeah, Gradniks, Gradvolk. Those degenerates from Grad.
Oh, so it's an ethnic slur.
Hey, if the name and description fit by the very grace of nature, who am I to say otherwise?
So can I see the apples?
Did you miss the part where I said they aren't here yet? Besides, even if I did have some, I wouldn't go putting my nose in them, huh?
He looks at you with a strange glint in his eyes.
Relax. You've got all you can get here. He probably doesn't even know what he's hauling, even if it is something unsavory. So he'd remain unaccountable.
You said something about the rights and privileges of lorrymen?
Oh yeah, they're a big deal. My great-grandfather was a carter, had a royal license and everything. We've tried to hold on to our privileges.
What's a carter?
Someone with a cart. What did you think it was? That's how deep into history our thing reaches. Before machines.
That's a privilege?
Sure fucking is. We have a guild and everything, huh? Very ancient. Very prestigious.
So it's a kind of union?
Hell no. It's a guild. Invitation only. Unions work for the rich fucks. They're basically the same. Been trying to fuck us out of our heritage in the name of profit, but you can't replace experience. Trusting street thugs with their goods is going to fuck them right up the ass. Mark my words. Generations of practice and no laughing matter.
Okay, we're done for now. Okay, are you the strikers? There's some change on the ground. I will actually take that, because at this point, one sits on the ground. think I am entitled to consider it lost. We want to work. Unions are a scam. Just be reasonable. Oh, so those are strike breakers. The lorries probably stored fuel here. Now they store booze.
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Garte-made machine is well kept for such an old machine.
Look in the window.
The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings, stickers, insignia.
What kind of stickers and insignia?
The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about honor, strength, and purity are glued to various panels.
What about the back seat?
The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. There are several suns and wheels sewn into the curtains. A book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover features a large, muscular man. The title reads, Man from Eamdal in the Lost City of the Pygmies.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy.
He grits his teeth and then nods towards the racist lorry driver. You think this lorry belongs to our tough guy?
Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
Fuck the politics, let's all just work. It says GRIH. Okay, let's talk to this guy.
Bastards! We have a right to work!
The man yells towards the harbor gates. His voice is the loudest of the lot and oddly screechy for a man his size. Yes, Scab leader. Scab is a derogatory. It's actually a real-world term. A derogatory term that they used for strike breakers. What's going on here?
Hold up and stay frosty, everyone. Cops are here.
And the broad-shouldered alpha male turns to you. He's a head taller than everyone else here.
You here to fuck with us? Beat the honest worker down.
Why should I?
We're here to fight for a cause. Stripes usually have problems with people who have causes.
Well, no.
Good. We're fighting for a cause here.
Right to work! Right to work!
Besides, we're not that different. It helps if people see us talking, cops and strikebreakers together. Shows authorities are on our side. Builds confidence.
What kind of cause are we talking about here?
Rights of people. Rights of workers. To have gainful employment. To make a salary. And feed their families.
His manner of speaking is wooden, the tone of voice bland and uninspired, almost as if compiling replies from a set of learned phrases.
I have some questions for you.
Maybe you should ask them the questions, like why we're not allowed to make a living here.
Shame on you!
We have families to feed, you piece of shit.
He points his finger at the man sitting on the railing.
So do we, Scab.
The hollering man hollers in return. Well, I know what a strike is. What exactly is your goal here?
We were promised work. We'd be in there, working, if the bastards hadn't shut the gates.
Alright.
The physically impressive man tower has turned his attention back to the gates. He ignores your presence.
Who are all those strike breakers?
Honest men and women with rights to work, to be useful, not toys for corporate interests.
The man runs a hand through his steadily graying military haircut.
We came here to help the harbor run smoothly in time of crisis. If Union fucks don't want work, they ought to let in those who do want work.
I have a question. Why do all these men follow your leadership?
The lieutenant looks him in the eye.
You think they follow because I'm big and loud? No. They follow the rules of the market, the rules of the economy, because they were
Given a job to do!
What is a strike?
When a bunch of ungrateful, lazy cockroaches can't get their act together, decide to block honest work for other people.
He shifts uncomfortably in his worker's overalls. Why be uncomfortable about that? Like, it's pretty clear to me that this guy is probably a company plant. Because it was, like, you know, an actual strike breaker sent to break the strike. Because it was noted that he's repeating learned phrases. And to be honest, that's the least... that's the less scumbaggy thing to do, because in reality, worker strikes have often been broken with actual violence. Like Pinkerton, the detective agency, they used to shoot people, you know, strikers. What do the strikers want?
beats me. They mumble nonsense about boardrooms and workers' rights, while we have the right to work!
I want to get into the harbor too.
Have fun. Union shits are on full strike. Don't think they're going to let you through the gates. I'm trying to meet their fat boss.
I'm interviewing people about a murder that took place here, behind the hotel cafeteria.
I know nothing about a murder.
His replies is snappy and terse.
The mention of a killing sends a barely noticeable shiver of tenseness through him. Interesting.
Why so tense?
What are you talking about? I'm not tense.
Yes, he's tense.
Right to work!
It's shameful. Cops doing nothing. You should bring backup. Open up the gates for us. Blockading gainful employment for workers is a crime.
Well, actually, not necessarily. Like, in most developed nations nowadays, there are actually, there are actually rules about how you can conduct a strike, including a sit-in strike where you occupy your place of work. And that might be legal. Like, there are... I don't know the specifics. I'm not really all that trained in labor laws. But there are rules about that. I don't know.
We are not picking a side in this just yet, sir.
Pity.
Let us work!
You've been talking to him for quite a while now. Something is off with this guy. Ask him where he's from.
Okay, I gotta ask. Where are you from?
What's it to you?
Deep-seated suspicion drips from every syllable. A curiosity going to figure out this strike mess.
Big mess, caused by Union greed. But I only fight for the rights of people.
Shoots you a wary, distrustful look.
Every once in a while, it's like you can see glimpses of another guy under the guise of this fighter for jobs. He seems a more brutal, cunning, and suspicious person. Just a hunch. Or you just might be paranoid.
Already got that. Interested in your background.
We're all workers, right? Workers stick together. Came from the eminent domain, in Jamrock. Backgrounds in odd jobs, heavy lifting, cargo hauling, bouncer work. I know the drill.
A bouncer? Where? I frequent a lot of bars. Maybe it's the one I know.
Worked at Territorial. Ring a bell?
Are you lying? I'm not... What are the vibes I'm getting? Because I can't tell. Maybe there is a bar of that name, judging by this response. Not right now, but I might have been there. I don't really remember things well.
Uh-huh. It was a long time ago.
The man is quickly losing interest in talking to you. Okay, I might have botched that somewhat. Maybe I should have pushed him. I'm just going to leave now.
Scab?
Ask the man with jolly eyes, tilting his head.
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
What exactly is a scab?
A kind of a worm, content with mere survival. They come, they want to do our job for shittier pay, screwing over both themselves and us. Everybody loses.
Where did they all come from?
Beats me. Somewhere in the ground, I think.
You don't seem to like them much.
Gotta be bloody stupid, freaking evil to Scab. Or I guess, scared maybe. But scared of what? Of who?
He looks at the mass, squinting his eyes, as if trying to ascertain what they are scared of. Well, I would imagine most people who were strike breakers were just scared that the strike is not going to work, and they are that they are going to accomplish nothing, and lose their job, and potentially end up destitute.
Personally, I'd rather beg than scab. If the gentleman shouting on the street came begging, maybe they'd have gotten something.
Have you tried talking to them?
We've explained the matters, but they don't listen. This lot would be reasonable and go home if the big guy wasn't riling them up all the time.
Big guy. He means the leader of the scabs.
I'm not a scab, I'm a cop.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab.
His smile deepens his wrinkles even more.
Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, "Let us cop for less money."
He chuckles and then realizes.
Speaking of, what brings the RCM here? To the wild north? Come to see the strife?
What is the strike about anyway?
You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He smiles.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
I've come to the Martinez investigating a murder.
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder.
Well, maybe you want to help me solve it by telling me who did it.
Of course, Policia. It wasn't me. You can rule me out. Easier that way.
He gives you a sly smile.
Should we? He's nice. I don't like nice. He didn't do it. It's the truth.
Well, I need to know what's behind those gates. I'm exploring.
My friend, I respect the right to roam. The open range awaits.
He gazes over the roundabout with a glint of longing. Does this mean you can let me through the gate?
I don't operate in that capacity. I'm not a granter of passage. The passage grants itself.
He takes a swing and points up the stairs with his flask.
If it's all so simple, why don't the strikebreakers just go up the stairs?
That's simple. I just walk in.
Aye. Walk right past Measurehead and go in.
Measurehead?
Yeah, the 2.5 meter tall Semini supremacist there. Walk right past him.
He points to the bridge above the gates.
Then press the button to unlock the door. Then go past him again. And you enter the arbor through the office. Está.
So what you're telling me is he's going to beat me up. That's the vibe I'm getting. I will probably try it, but later maybe. I still haven't found the body. It's supposed to be behind. I don't think it's in the harbor. I think I have some other questions for you
The man
first.
whispers a jaunty tune. A coastal breeze ruffles his hair.
Okay, I'm not going to beg him for money. Oh. Okay, so to just walk up the stairs or down the stairs, respectively. The Greater Ravachol Industrial Harbor. There's plenty of work for everyone. I haven't had a job for years. I wouldn't do it if I didn't have to. Yeah, exactly. That last point. I wouldn't do it if I didn't have to. I think that's what the majority of the strike breakers think. Like, they think whatever crappy conditions that they got were better than nothing. Fritte. What? I don't know what you mean by that, to be honest. It's a shop of some kind. But I am going to check it out next time, because this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to save and end it for now. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!